Brought to you by...
I always love it when a franchise chooses to take a turn away from its roots. While they never completely leave the source material behind, it's always something special when they can move in a new and exciting direction, while still maintaining the things that made the concept great to begin with. This is what Sam Raimi chose to do when moving on to the third installment in the Evil Dead franchise, plunging Bruce Campbell into the distant past, stranded, without hope, but armed with his fucking boomstick. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the cabin for the third installment of the Evil Dead franchise. Once more directed by Sam Raimi and starring Bruce Campbell as the charismatic and chainsaw-wielding protagonist, Ash Williams. Building upon the foundations laid by its predecessors, the film opens with Ash, the everyman anti-hero, stranded in medieval England. He's initially enslaved, but quickly proves his worth after slaying a Deadite in a gladiatorial-style pit fight. Declared the Chosen One in a prophecy, he reluctantly agrees to retrieve the Necronomicon, which will save the kingdom from an evil plague. Ash's journey is a chaotic mix of slapstick humor and supernatural peril. After failing to correctly recite the incantation, he accidentally awakens an army of skeletons, led by his evil doppelganger, Evil Ash. Bruce Campbell delivers a career-defining performance, expertly balancing action, comedy, and sheer arrogance. Ash evolves into a full-blown caricature of the reluctant hero, complete with groan-worthy one-liners like,
"Give me some sugar, baby."
And
"This is my boomstick!"
Campbell's physical comedy shines, particularly in scenes like the chaotic battle with mini Ash clones. Yes, I just fucking said that. Ash's self-centered personality and sarcastic wit make him an unconventional yet lovable protagonist, embodying the film's absurd tone. Sam Raimi's fingerprints are all over Army of Darkness. From the frenetic camera work to the exaggerated visual gags, his playful directorial style transforms what could have been a straightforward fantasy adventure into something wholly unique. Raimi drew inspiration from various sources, including literature, folklore, and classic films. The film pays homage to the sword and sorcery genre, which is characterized by its medieval setting, epic quests, and fantastical elements. Films like Excalibur and The Seventh Seal influenced the visual style and tone. The stop-motion animation work of legendary filmmaker Ray Harryhausen, known for films like Jason and the Argonauts and The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, influenced the creation of the Skeleton Army. As with the previous Evil Dead films, classic horror films served as a source of inspiration as well. Raimi loves the horror genre, particularly the films of George Romero and Alfred Hitchcock. These definitely influenced his blend of horror and comedy. The comedic elements were once again inspired by classic slapstick comedies, such as those starring Buster Keaton or The Three Stooges. The film's physical humor, exaggerated reactions, and comedic timing can be traced back to these influences, as Raimi aimed to incorporate moments of levity and absurdity amidst the horror elements. Serials from the early days of cinema also blend in, such as Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers. These provided inspiration for the film's adventurous tone and cliffhanger-style storytelling. The production of Army of Darkness was an ambitious endeavor that involved a significant amount of planning, coordination, and creative problem-solving. The script for Army of Darkness was written by Raimi and his brother Ivan. The process involved developing the story arc, dialogue, and humorous elements that would define the film. Once the script was finalized, pre-production began, which included standard steps like location scouting, casting, and designing sets, costumes, and props. The film was primarily shot in the California area, with the majority of the production taking place at Universal Studios. The studio provided the necessary facilities and backlots to create the medieval castle and surrounding environments. The interior shots were filmed on sound stages, allowing for greater control over lighting and set design. Once again, this film relied heavily on practical effects to achieve its visual style. The effects team, this time led by the K&B Effects Group, created all the prosthetics, animatronics, and puppetry used in the film. This included the creation of the Skeletal Army and the Evil Ash character. The team used a combination of traditional techniques and innovative approaches to achieve the desired effects. The film's score was composed by Joseph LaDuca, who had previously worked on the music for the first two films. The score combined elements of orchestral music and medieval-inspired sounds, enhancing the film's epic, adventurous tone. This one trades the visceral terror of the first film for the same slapstick comedy and camp of its sequel, which I would say was heightened even further. The humor is often absurd, from Ash's over-the-top bravado and the Three Stooges-inspired fight sequences. While the film doesn't delve deeply into themes, it plays with the concepts of heroism and the juxtaposition of the modernity against a medieval setting. Ash's chainsaw arm and shotgun symbolize his ingenuity and resilience, also his hubris, traits that led to both his victories and blunders. The medieval setting is brought to life with detailed sets and costumes, though the budget constraints are occasionally evident. The Skeleton Army, while charmingly low-tech, is a highlight, showcasing the creativity of Raimi's team. The special effects, particularly stop-motion animation, feel dated but remain enduring for their practical execution. Much of what I could go into about this film, everyone already knows. I actually was introduced to Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness early on in life, before I ever saw the original classic. I remember my uncle would tell me that I had to wait to watch the first one because it was the scariest film ever made, that he used to have to leave the room whenever he watched it because of how utterly terrifying it was. So for years, I watched and rewatched these sequels because I loved the pure imagination that they invoked. And as I grew older, I fell in love with the pure horror of the concept, despite the comedic tone. Army of Darkness, for me in particular, was one of the films that captured my imagination and lit the fire of my love for stop-motion animation and practical puppetry. It showed me that we puppets can transcend felt and fleece, that we can be a part of all genres, including the more horrific and sensational. Army of Darkness is a gleefully absurd romp that revels in its own ridiculousness. It's not a traditional horror film, but its mix of slapstick comedy, fantasy adventure, and Bruce Campbell's iconic performance make it a must-watch for fans of cult cinema. While it may not satisfy those seeking the intense scares of the Evil Dead, its charm and creativity are fucking undeniable, and beloved by all of us. Well, friends, that's going to be all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, these films have been talked to death over the years, so what more can I really say? Go watch it for yourself, probably for the millionth fucking time. I will link the physical release down in the description. If this isn't already in your collection, it fucking should be. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe for more content, and if you really want to help support this channel, please come find us on Patreon. Until next time, stay safe. Don't get sucked into the distant past by the Book of the Dead, and as always, thanks for watching.